How to undo keto but not the benefits of a keto diet? What's the point of being on a ketogenic diet if you are scared of gaining all the fat again? Hi, welcome to another video of the series Indian Keto Diet, Everything You Need to Know. In this chapter, we'll be discussing about getting out of keto. Now, getting out of keto has been the most debatable question, that how do you get out of keto? To understand it in a simple manner, that this is the process of reverse dieting, a diet after a diet, so that you can find something more sustainable, you can find something more disciplined, so that you can ensure that whatever weight you have lost or fat you have lost, that doesn't come back to you again. Now, I'll be dividing this video into 4 topics. Number 1 is questions, number 2 is facts, number 3 is process, and number 4 is factors which are important while you're reverse dieting. First is questions. 3 questions is what I'm going to ask you. Write it down on a piece of paper or think about your answers. These answers may change, your questions may change, so don't forget to comment also if your questions change. Number 1, how much time are you ready to spare in this process of getting out of keto? Number 2, what is your plan B? What are you going to do next after this? If not keto, then is it a plan which you have already decided about? Or do you have a plan in your hand which you want to think that, okay, I'm going to adapt to this? And the third question is your regime or the new thing which you're going to do or new plan which you're going to apply, is it compatible with your lifestyle? Just an example, like, is it about preparing 4-5 meals a day? Is it about preparing 3 meals a day? And what is your plan B? So think about these questions and write your answers. We'll proceed further in the video with fact checks for all the ways of getting out of keto. So getting out of keto has a very simple way where you introduce carbohydrates and introduce protein and you reduce fats. Now, when I say introduction of carbohydrates and protein, there are certain facts which we need to understand. Number 1, we have to determine the level of carbohydrates which your body is no more into ketosis, and you can easily survive on these many carbohydrates irrespective of the fact what your energy levels are. Number 2, we have to reach another point which is also called as keto threshold level. This is my term which I say keto threshold level, in which you determine that how much protein, fats and carbohydrates can you eat in a day which does not make you gain weight or as well as on your measurements. So these are 2 facts which we are going to understand. Now, there's a third fact of this is that 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. Now, we are reducing fat, we are introducing protein, so 4 2s are 8, it is not equivalent to 9. And the fourth fact to understand about getting out of keto is that what carbohydrates are we introducing, how much antioxidants are we including in our diet, and what is our way forward. So these are few facts which are important for us to consider when we understand the process, because when we understand that what we are doing, we will be able to clarify the process very well. So coming to process has 3 phases which are interlinked to each other. Number 1 is timeline, number 2 is phases, and number 3 is assessment. So firstly, when you have timeline, it takes 21 to 72 days for a person to get out of keto, or 10% of the diet time. Whatever number is higher, that's what your time should be to be out of keto. Second, which is sequencing. Sequences have to be changed by gradually reducing fats first and then including carbs and protein. Now, when you apply a sequence, let me give you an example of a 21-day sequence. Now, 21 days is dependent on majorly if you have lost only 10 kgs or you have some inches which you have lost and you want to be out of keto, you're running short of time, you have only 3 weeks to allot to this process. So firstly, the idea in the first sequence is to reduce fats. In the second sequence, you introduce some fruit, you introduce some legumes, lentils, whole foods. In the third sequence, you again reduce some fats. In the fourth sequence, you calculate according to how much fats you have reduced and you try to include simple carbohydrates which should be complex but they are simply made. And the fifth sequence is something which we are going to conclude that where your body has reached. Usually between second to the third sequence, you will see the first level, which is about the fact 1, that your minimal carbohydrate intake. Between the fourth and the fifth sequence, you will reach a point where you understand that how much carbohydrates can I eat, how much protein can I eat, how much fats can I eat, which are not making me gain on my weight and measurements. The third thing is assessment. So assessment is all about understanding whether where your weight is going. checking your keto diastics levels or keto meters, which is with blood meters. And the third thing is checking your body measurements. Now, assessment changes your timeline and timeline changes your sequencing. That's why they are interconnected to each other. That you may have a timeline of 21 days, but because of your sequencing, you see that you are gaining on measurements, you may want to spare out some more time. So this is how the process works. Now please understand, this process is a generic process. It is not applicable with everybody. You may take some more time as compared to, let's say somebody else. It may take a while for you to adapt to getting out of keto. It may take a while for you to also, understand the sequencing process. But this is just a sample size for anyone who is getting out of keto, that how you can be out of keto. Coming to the last point, which is the main point of this entire chapter. Factors which will decide that if you will gain the fat again or not. Number one is plan B. What is plan B? What are you going to do next? How are you going to maintain your weight? What is your new normal? Because see, for the first instance, if you were eating and you were gaining fat, that's not your normal, right? You have to decide a new normal. Now, if your plan B has some intermittent fasting, carb cycling, I'm not saying that you should do all of this, but it has to have something which is written on a piece of paper, or you have made an Excel sheet out of it. You have planned what you're going to do next. Second point which matters the most is patience. How patient are you? How much time do you want to spare out in getting out of keto? These statistics which I have spoken about, the days, the process, has been tried over say 350 plus people, which I have worked with more than 600 individuals, and 350 have been interested to complete their journey, get out of keto. Not everybody becomes successful in this, because you have to be very, very patient. I have seen in my experiences of working with clients one-on-one, they have tried to be out of keto within 7 days and it has backfired. So be really patient. It's really important for you to understand that your focus on getting out of keto should be more than your focus on getting in keto. Number 3 is body cues. Body cues about your body indications. What are your energy levels? How are you able to, finish your meals, or are you full too soon, or are you eating more than your normal, eating habit? What mindful eating habits are you inculcating in this entire process? Are you just finishing the food just for the sake of finishing it? Then you should measure it. You should try to divide your portions by taking different servings, right? So body cues also are about your measurements, about your energy levels, about how you feel. These are something which we shouldn't ignore at all. Because when you start with keto, your body was insulin resistant to a point. Now it has become insulin sensitive. So whatever you eat is going to be stored in the body very easily. Body knows how to utilize carbohydrates, and it has no understanding of what carbohydrates, where to put it. So it's just like a small kid who wants to, take care of a puzzle, and the kid doesn't know how to exactly put that puzzle across, right? That's your body. So body cues are really important, and they decide whether you're getting out of keto is going to be successful or not. Coming to point number 4. Point number 4 is subjective, and this is according to your learning curve. What do you understand about basic nutrition? See, chicken is very, very rich in carbohydrates, and bread is very rich in protein. I said it incorrect, right? Your basic understanding of nutrition has to come in place so that you can try to get out of keto and you understand what you're eating and where you're eating from. If you think that those packet of chips is what you're going to eat after getting out of keto, trust me, don't get out of keto. You will gain weight for sure. If you have a mental mindset that I'm going to eat everything which I used to eat before, keto is never for you. You are in a trap. You will gain weight for sure. You will gain fat again. Don't try keto again. It's a closed chapter for you. So understanding basic nutrition is very, very important. You can't be in that dilemma that I know my body, I know how my body is going to react. Your body is going to surprise you after you leave keto. It is not going to react the same way how you check things before and what exactly is going to happen. So coming to another 5th point, which is the factor, is a reality check. A lot of us, we realize it. Now, when you try to think about your journey, if you've been on keto, when you were fat, and even I was fat, we are ignorant and arrogant when we become fat. We become ignorant and as well as we become arrogant. Somebody tells you, oh, you've gained the weight. You'll be like, shut up, I don't want to listen to this. And also you would not want to check your body measurements, body weight, you would not want to calculate your food. So reality check is really important. How to keep a reality check is by every week on a Sunday or every week at least try to get your body measurements. Check your weight, don't get scared. When you step out, you want to eat something, don't be scared of food. But when you eat something the next day, try to compensate for it, because that's what the reality check is. Tomorrow would never come. You may think that I'm going to eat slightly, weight gain is going to happen. The initial phase of gaining weight is water weight. After that, there is no possibility that you should gain weight or you should gain body measurements until unless you are eating more. In specific cases of, say pregnancy or other things are different. But that's where the reality check matters the most. So I spoke about 4 topics and there's a bonus topic for you. This is personal heart-to-heart conversation about getting out of keto. Getting out of keto majority of the times fails, and this is a very underrated concept in nutrition. Despite doing so many courses, I don't call myself a certified nutritionist because people don't want to focus on the idea of getting out of keto, and it is just a shade of gray. So honestly, if you want to be out of keto for a vacation, it is going to fail for sure. If you have no plan B, you will be, in the middle of nowhere. If you try to apply things all by yourself and you don't take professional help at times, that doesn't mean that I'm asking you to take my professional help. You may need some, hand holding when it is about getting out of keto. So read more and be always hungry for more information. Take things with a pinch of salt. Try to apply the process, and just don't follow a textbook. Just don't follow the simple logic of calorie counting. You will have to find a recipe which works for you. That recipe is something which is your routine, and you will have to see whether the entire diet is sustainable or not. These are just basic tips about it. Comment below in the comment section if you have any of your questions. If you want to directly connect with me, I have an Instagram account @Ketorets. You can also DM me, ask me your questions, give me a reference about this video. I'll surely help you. And I hope this helps anyone who's suffered from the brunt of getting back on the same weight, or rather gaining more fat after leaving keto. So thank you so much for everybody watching this, and stay tuned on the channel for more videos. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below your views. This is Rahul Kamra signing off.